Looking to get back into Standard in a flash, but don't want to play the top 2 decks from the recent Pro Tour? Then have I got a deck for you. White Blue Flash is, much like Standard itself, making a major comeback. Although the changes to its list and slightly adjusted strategy of play make it more accurately described as White Blue Midrange. Once the go-to deck and a real powerhouse of Standard, the banning of Smuggler's Copter and, much more so, Reflector Mage downgraded the deck. And with the rise of Saheeli Cat combo, it sent White Blue Flash to the exile zone. But now, with that cat combo gone and Amonkhet cards giving rise to many new decks, White Blue is making a major comeback, but the deck itself has adapted to this new standard. So let's take a look. As before, you'll want to run a full play set of Inspector Thraben, whose go-go Thraben clues make this one of the best turn 1 plays out there. But added to our curve is the new Glory-Bound Initiate, one of my new standard favorites, who for only 2 gives you a 3/1 where you may exert Glory-Bound Initiate as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1/+3 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Continuing along this curve, for 1 blue, 1 white, and 1 of any color, we can cast Spell Queller, a flash flying 2/3 that reads, when Spell Queller enters the battlefield, exile target spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. When Spell Queller leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Once you've got your 3 mana available, hold up on Spell Queller. Your opponent is likely within that 4 or less range, and so when they attempt to move forward, counter what they're throwing your way, flashing in a 2/3 flyer, and gaining some major tempo advantage. Love this card. At 4 mana, we have, yes, you guessed it, an entire playset of Gideon. Gideon. Hey, he's just too good not to run. For +1, we can make him a 5/5 human soldier ally creature with indestructible, and of course prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. For the incredibly inexpensive cost of 0, we can put a 2/2 White Knight ally creature token onto the battlefield, and at the cost of 4 loyalty, something we can activate the turn Gideon is played, we can give ourselves an emblem that provides creatures we control with +1/+1. Luckily, as a diversity of new non-white decks emerges, Gideon has become much less of a must-run in competitive decks, and thus his price has declined. But he's still far from cheap. Still, if you are in white, it is hard to justify not running him, and for our deck, a full playset really is a must. As too is a playset of Archangel Avacyn. For 5 mana, she's another flash flyer with vigilance, and when Archangel Avacyn enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Transformed, she deals 3 damage to each creature and each opponent, sweeping the board and then beating in for the win. Although she may not sweep our side of the board because we're also running a full playset of Selfless Spirit. Great to sack for the needed indestructibility in response to Avacyn flipping, or just to save our own board from an attempt by our opponents to wipe it out. Cards like Eldrazi Skyspawner and Walking Ballista have seen a lot of success in some lists, but I tend to favor Gisela the Broken Blade and Aethersphere Harvesters. The Harvesters are a 3/5 flying vehicle for 3, with crew cost of only 1 that gives us 2 energy when it enters the battlefield, and can gain lifelink at the cost of 1 energy. Self-protection, a low mana cost, and the advantage of lifelink helps the deck keep itself above our opponent's heads, all the while overwhelming its way to victory. But of course, tweaking this area of the deck is very meta-dependent, and you may find varying combinations of these cards to be more successful for you based on you as a player and a pilot. My recommendations, as always, are posted in this video's description. For control, in addition to the ever-relevant removal of Declaration in Stone, we are adding Censor, the costlier force spike that allows us to cycle if and when it's dead in our hand. This adds to the controlling cards of Stasis Snare and Castaway. Our mana base is typical for 2 color, using, in addition to basics, Prairie Stream, Port Town, and the newly cycle-able Irrigated Farmland. A single Westvale Abbey is included as well, as some games go long and summoning an Ormondal is a game changer. In our sideboard, we might add an extra Westvale Abbey, but as always, sideboards are meta-dependent. That being said, some key cards here are a few additional Gisela the Broken Blades, and I like to include 1 Bruna, not just for meld, although that's always a blowout when it happens. For added control, there are the staple cards of Negate and Dispel, but I've been been finding an extreme amount of success with Dusk to Dawn. Dusk to Dawn is a card that can wipe the board or give us recursion of a lot of our low-end cards. I think it's a must two of in any sideboard. And you might also consider a single Sphinx of the Final Word for our own control matchups, and to keep our instants and sorcery spells safe from counters. Despite the inclusion of some of the best cards in its colors, White Blue Midrange is competitively priced at approximately $250. The deck creates a tempo advantage using a great combination of aggro and control. And best of all, it's fun to play and less likely to be what your opponent's expected to see you take out and play. I hope very much this video is of some help to you. What deck would you like to see a tech on next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're looking for these or any cards that can't be found at your local game store, you can always check out our sponsor through the affiliate link posted in the description below. With great rates on international shipping, CardKingdom.com has everything you need, from singles to brand new battle decks to the top-rated accessories that I've reviewed over the years.